All right, I'm really excited to talk about today's video. This is kind of the third in a series, but again, you don't have to watch any of the previous ones. If you're just jumping in here, absolutely a standalone. I'm going to give you a quick recap in a second, but I'll tell you today's video is specifically looking at those coaches that have gone out there in the world that succeed out of the gate and why that is versus those that struggle. Today, we're going to be talking about a very specific mindset that lends itself whether you're a coach or any kind of an entrepreneur in general, by the way. So today's going to be, I'll label it something like the indoor cat versus an outdoor cat. And just in a second, I'm going to explain that. But I want to say that the reason I'm so excited for this video is if you watched none of the other videos on this entire channel and you really get this video, this message today, it's the number one thing that you're going to need in your business. And this is the thing that will be the most impactful when you get it right in order to succeed as a coach or a personal trainer or whatever you want as a business owner. But today I am speaking specifically to you coaches out there, okay? Although it's applicable to so many, I'm going to be speaking to you as a coach. But let me give you a real quick recap of the other videos, and then it will tie into this video. So Ryan and I both have watched hundreds, if not thousands, of coaches go get certified with an accredited coach certification school, accredited through the ICF. They put in 6 months of their life, sometimes up to a year, to complete the training and then to get out there in the world and declare that they're a coach, only to find that 80% of them fail. And by failure, I'm defining that as 3 years in, they're no longer a coach or even trying to be a coach. With that success side, 20% of those, they are still thriving as coaches. They hit the ground running. They're loving what they do, and they make whatever lifestyle they want, meaning you can make 6 figures, no problem. Not no problem. It's a lot of work, but it's very feasible, very likely. It's very possible to make a very comfortable living, even better than you could make in the corporate space in most scenarios. I've known doctors and other different types of high-paying employees that have made the switch. I've known judges and attorneys that have gone into the corporate space. I've met therapists that have later become coaches instead. And you can absolutely thrive as a coach. We're wanting to give you some of that social proof, though, because I also know when you are coming into the unknown, it's a new business, you yourself may not have experienced having the lifestyle that you wanted. So, summary. Quick, first video, we talked about not putting so much importance on your coach certification. Getting it is good. It's incredibly valuable, but it in and of itself will not make you a successful coach. So you've got to break that myth on your own, right? Ultimately, that allows the business to begin, or the work of your building your business to begin. It's not the end of the story, right? And so the analogy in that video was about your coach certification being like a driver's license. It proved that you had a certain level of experience and competence in getting behind a wheel, but it didn't guarantee that you could drive from, say, the West Coast to the East Coast on a trip, because you also need a vehicle and a plan. So that was the second video, is on a plan. Failing to have a business plan is planning to have your business fail. And I did talk about that plan doesn't have to be an overly formalized thing. It's just a very on-purpose, intentional approach to your business with built-in flexibility to make changes along the way. Those are 2 big ones, but today's even bigger. I'm going to break it down into a couple of different ways, and I'll probably break off of the car analogy for a second, and I'm going to go into animals. Now, don't judge me for this, but I'm a dog person. I actually really love dogs. And this analogy is going to be about cats, okay? So I just want to make it really clear, though. I love all animals, and cats are great, but I definitely am a dog person. So, but don't judge me. So here's the analogy. It's the indoor cat versus the outdoor cat. Before I get in there, let me just tell you literally what I'm going to talk about. One of the things that the 80% of coaches who struggle don't seem to ever get past, that the 20% do right out of the gate, is around the identity as a coach and a business owner that needs to now go get it, whatever it is that they need. Additional skills around, they're great coaches now, but they don't know how to market or network or get in front of people or build an audience. So they learn that skill and they continuously go after it until they figure that out. Or they're really good at that, but once they get into that face-to-face conversation, they freak out. It's scary. They don't know what to say. or they don't know how to answer the question, so how much do you charge? Or how do I work with you? Or anything like that. And so that's what they go after. They learn those skills. They find mentors or free YouTube channels or podcasts, whatever it is, they're constantly learning it, right? So that's what I'm really talking about is indoor cat versus outdoor cat. Here's the analogy. You already know this, but an indoor cat is going to wait for food. It sits around, it's fat, it's loving, but it is lazy, right? It's just waiting for the food to come. You turn on that can opener and that's when you see the cat, right? It's been hiding all day long. All you know is that the plants that you had on the windowsill are now on the floor. You know the cat was there, but you don't see the cat until you present some food, and then all of a sudden the cat shows up. The cat, indoor cat, is always waiting for food and everything to come to it, right? So in business, that's like waiting for the business to come to you. You're waiting for somebody to give you the sales and the knowledge, or you blame the world for not giving you what you need. You know, in certification, in the school that I went to, they didn't even teach us how to network, or they didn't even teach us anything to do with sales. That's where it ends. It's that victim mentality. They should have brought it to me. Where's my food? I haven't even heard a can opener in a month, right? Indoor cat. The outdoor cat cannot wait to get outside because it's going to find its own food. It's going to get whatever, mice and rats and squirrels or bird heads. I don't know. This is exactly why I'm a dog person, by the way, because I don't like those surprises. But so an outdoor cat doesn't wait for the food to come to it. Now you still feed it, it's supplemental, but that cat wants to go out and earn it. And if you have any experience with cats, when they bring in a bird's head or a whatever, something they found outside, they are so proud to walk in that door and lay it down at your feet to say, look what I've done for you. Because that's their mentality, right? They want to be outdoor cats. So enough of the analogy. Let's get back to the real stuff here. Literally, if you think of an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur needs to be the outdoor cat. Whatever knowledge you need, whatever skills that you lack, whatever resources that need to be created, you're the one that's going to be responsible for figuring it out, for finding it, or finding somebody else that can either teach it to you, give it to you, or do it for you, right? And nobody's going to give that to you versus an employee. So think of an employee for a company. Think of a great company, a great corporation of some sort, and they have a wonderful training program. So you get hired on to do a specific task for them. And even though you were set up for saying that you're competent in doing this job because of your background, your skill, your charisma, your personality, whatever, this company still gives you all of the technical skills that you need because they are anticipating your upcoming challenges, problems, or day-to-day tasks. So they put together all of the training that you need. They put you through the training, and now you're set up to begin doing your job. And down the road, you're going to run into a new challenge or a new software or a new problem that you're now tasked with solving. But they give you whatever tools and resources you need, or point you towards a mentor, or they give you additional training. And so all along the way, they are treating you like an indoor cat. They're going to keep giving you what you need. If a cat is hungry and it starts meowing, then you bring it the cat food. I was going to say tuna fish. I'm going to be a terrible cat owner. I definitely need to stick with dogs. I'm positive of it. But that's the indoor cat mentality or the employee mentality as an entrepreneur. Nobody is going to necessarily anticipate your needs. Nobody's going to give you the pre-training to set you up for networking problems, or how do you grow your audience, or you're trying to create a YouTube channel and it's not growing the way that you want it to, or you have a Facebook page or a group and you're not getting the type of interaction that you're wanting. There isn't an employer who's going to be spoon feeding you what you need next. So you need to be the outdoor cat and hunt for it, right? So step back for a second, and here's the message. So many coaches who struggle, they have that mentality of if you build it, they will come. And so they've got their coach certification, and then they wait for stuff to come to them. And they kind of dabble a little bit here and there just to try to spark things, but nothing's happening. And a year into being a coach, they're not really building anything. They're not doing anything differently. They're not investing in themselves in whatever area would benefit them most. So again, the 20% that are succeeding, I see them out of the gate. Of course, they have their certification or some kind of skill set. Then they have a plan of attack. And in their plan, it also includes a lot of these other things. Here are the things that I'm going to be going after and learning. I don't know anything about social media marketing, none of it. So I'm going to spend X amount of time per day or per week, either reading books, watching YouTube, listening to podcasts, joining Facebook groups, whatever that thing is, to get the skills up to the point where they've now satisfied that need so they can move to the next one and the next one and the next one. That's the fun of being an entrepreneur, is that there is no right and wrong path. The next thing to do, if you're looking for, is this the right thing? There isn't a right thing. There's only, what next experience do you want, right? So if the next thing for you is, you know what, I really want to experience growing an audience. I want to have 10,000 people on my Facebook page, or I want to speak to at least 3 people a week specifically about coaching, then you get to figure that out. That's the right move for you. Later, you decide that wasn't the best move, so you're going to try something else. There's a slight difference between whether you're talking about an employee versus an entrepreneur, or you can talk about somebody who's in service versus in sales, who's somebody who's trying to grow their business versus somebody who's working on somebody else's business. Let me explain that. If you're a coach, but you're a coach as an employee for another company, well, they're going to be the outdoor cat for you, possibly. They're going to feed you with leads, and you just need to service them in such a way that people want to keep working with you. But as an entrepreneur, especially of your own business, you are all of that. You need to, they say, eat what you kill. By the way, I don't even think cats eat what they kill. I think they just throw it on your kitchen floor, right? And then I've got to clean it. See this? All right, dogs. I'm saying dogs are the way to go. But okay, where were we? We were talking about something to do with right, entrepreneur. Okay, so one of the biggest saying is, there's a big difference, even though it sounds subtle, there's a difference between doing things right and doing the right things. And an entrepreneur knows this. They know that they need to be doing the right things. They don't necessarily have to always do things right or perfectly. You try something else, you're going to keep getting better. Failing forward sounds good on paper, but is really hard in practice. And yet that's how you succeed as an entrepreneur, is because you're continuously stepping up to the plate and trying something new in spite of what other people are telling you you should do. If you're new to this entrepreneurial world, your family and friends and circle of influence, they might be used to you as an employee. So they might be telling you, you should just get a job so that it could pay your bills, while you're doing this on the side, which is perfectly fine. It's a very safe way to go. But at the end of the day, you as the identity of an entrepreneur, you as the identity of an outdoor cat, it's up to you to decide what it is that you want to do. What do you want to experience next? And then you can make your own changes along the way. Not only is it okay to fail, and when I say fail as a business owner, I really mean you tried something and you didn't get the results that you wanted. I don't even know why we label that as failure. I think it's from school. I think it's from work, because they need a result out of you and you try it and you don't do it well, you fell short on what they were expecting from you. In business, every one of those failures in that case is actually the best time to learn. The best lessons that I've ever learned came from quote unquote failures along the way. I've purchased rental properties or real estate that ultimately were, big projects, bigger than I thought. And I learned so much from them. I ultimately ended up profiting from them, but also I now bought better properties after having bought one that required a lot more of my time, effort, labor, and money than I thought. And now the next property was better because of it. I was more confident because of it. And I cared less about what other people thought of my next decision because of the failures I've already gone through. Because I'm stepping up to the plate in this case. Just like you're stepping up to the plate as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and as a coach who has a dream or a vision to influence the world and create a lifestyle for yourself on your own terms. So we need to figure out how to not listen to other people as they have their own doubts and fears that they're projecting onto us. I've also purchased actual businesses. I owned a jazz club in Utah for a while. And there were a lot of failures that came from that, but also I don't regret it at all. I've never learned so much in such a short period of time. And while meeting so many amazing people, we had live bands and the live band members and how they conducted their business and how we worked together, but also all of the liquor laws, the licensing and everything that's in Utah along the way. And also it's a hard 24/7 job. I literally dreamt about that business in the short stints of sleeping from say 5 a.m. until noon, which I also learned I don't like that sleeping pattern. So a lot of people look at my whole experience in that space as let's say a failure. But going back to my belief when it comes to being an entrepreneur, and especially you as a coach who's going to succeed, failure is what you do to learn more. If you're not failing, then you are not trying hard enough. You're not really challenging yourself. You're not stepping up to the plate. You're not putting yourself out there enough if you're not failing by that definition. True failure as an entrepreneur is not trying anything, letting it die on its own, never really putting in the effort that you know is possible in order to give it your true all. What does that look like? If you put in everything, your heart, your soul, you learn, you grab mentors, you invest in yourself, you're all in. And at the end of the day, that business goes under, you did not fail. You learn more about your character, what you're capable of, and learn new skills along the way than anything else could do, any book, any YouTube video, or any of that. So that's a big rant. The main point of this video is to try to get you to get dogs, not cats. But outside of that, the secondary goal of this video really was to say, be your own boss. Take on the identity as an entrepreneur. Be the outdoor cat. You cannot be the victim in the space. You're always looking for, what do you need to learn? What can you learn from that thing that just happened? What skills do you need? What mentors do you need to have? What books should you find? What YouTube videos should you watch in order to then learn enough to try something new? There's definitely a balance between the learning and taking action and then assessing the results and then trying something new. Again, if you learn nothing else from any of the videos that we've created, this one mindset piece, although it seems subtle, this is, I would say, in 100% of those coaches and entrepreneurs, but coaches that do succeed, that do ultimately get it right and create the lifestyle that they want, it comes down to this mindset shift. Whichever one you related to most, the indoor cat versus the outdoor cat, or the employee waiting for stuff to come to them versus the entrepreneur who ultimately goes out and makes it happen, finds what they need, hunts it down, and creates it and tries it for their own business. So I really hope you got the message in this one. I had a little fun with it, but I want to make sure that you hear me, right? This life that you're trying to create, there's so much social proof out there that absolutely it's viable. Absolutely it's feasible. You can do and be whatever you want, but you can't wait for it to come to you. So go out there and get it. While you're waiting for the next video, definitely check out some of our other ones, whether you're interested in some mindset or some sales, or you just want to hear me ramble about random animals, cats, and dogs. I'm sure we have more videos about that as well. And until next time, hey, enjoy the rest of your day, your week, your month, and I'll see you again soon.